here at Cornerstone Fitness and Health, and today we are talking about scapular depression and scapular retraction. This is the final piece of the puzzle, or the last leg of our tripod table, as I like to call it, in keeping a stable, strong, building foundational base for our body and to build other exercises on and daily activity. Got that final component of that base. So what we're going to cover today in this video are 4 things. I'm going to give you a brief understanding and basis as to why scapular depression and retraction are important. Then we're going to go into what is scapular depression and how do we find it, what is scapular retraction and how do we find it, and finally I'm going to give you 3 exercises to practice those movements. So let's get started. Scapular depression and scapular retraction. Basically what that means is the mobility in your scapula or your shoulder blades, right? These pointy little protrusions on your back. I like to call them angel wings, and yes, they are important, and no, they're not just for decoration. They can move on their own, and they have a really, really, really powerful purpose. Much like when we talked about engaging our core and our transverse being that powerhouse of the lower body, your scapula or shoulder blades, believe it or not, are the powerhouse of your upper body. And their main 2 purposes are, 1, they are those scapula and shoulder blades, the surrounding muscles in your back are your main postural muscles, meaning they keep your chest open and our shoulders down and back. When they are not strong and they are not functioning and we are not using them appropriately, we round forward. Secondly, those muscles around the scapula, they provide stability and support for your entire shoulder complex, okay? All these muscles in our shoulders. Your shoulder complex is important is because it is the counter muscle to your chest. Yes, as odd as that sounds, this big chest muscle's opposing muscle is your shoulder. When our scapular shoulder blades and those muscles aren't working properly, they cannot stabilize and support the shoulders take on too much, and we end up again rounding forward. Add on to that our daily life has us in this forward flexion so much. It's that double-edged sword, perfect storm in which we end up having shoulder issues, neck issues, headaches, low back issues, okay? And it all stems from the power that we have in the stability that we can create through just using our shoulder blades or scapula and the surrounding muscles. Sounds pretty important to me. So, what is scapular depression? Okay, that first primary move. Scapular depression is where it starts because it's not a little bit here, we use it a little bit there. Scapular depression is a 24/7 motion. Scapular depression is your body's ability to pull your shoulder blades straight down your back. I like to tell people imagining putting your shoulder blades in your back pants pockets. Like we sometimes put our hands there, that's where our shoulder blades belong. I hate to break it to you, but our shoulders do not belong in our ears, okay? Your ears are not a nest for your shoulders. Get them down. They belong way down in your pants pockets. The only time those shoulders should be coming up is if you see a snake or a rat or a spider or something that terrifies you, then those shoulders can come up, but they immediately need to drop back down. So how do we know if we're actually using our shoulder blades to move our scapula down, or are we using our arms, or are we using our shoulders? I like to do this by teaching what I call the wall scapular depression. So we're going to use a wall, and I'm going to show you a couple of angles so you understand. You're going to find a wall, and again, you know I love walls. They provide such a great accountability for able to feel muscles that we can't see, and sometimes we don't know if they're moving. So find yourself a wall, and you're going to take your arm and you're just going to extend it up. Core is going to be engaged. Light pressure. I'm putting nothing on this wall. I'm facing the wall, core is engaged, hips are square, and I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to place it on my shoulder, just as an accountability check, because I want to see if I can feel muscles bite in here. If I feel those muscles bite, I know I'm not using that shoulder blade. And then all I'm going to do is think about pulling this left scapula, or shoulder blade, down to my back pocket. So I'm going to pull down. And you'll notice my hand moved. My hand moved not because I pulled it down. My hand moved because I dropped my scapula. So nice and light pressure, and I'm gonna pull down. I'm gonna show you from this angle. Facing a wall, square to the wall, soft knees, engaged core. I'm gonna lift that right arm up, loosey-goosey, no pressure, and I'm gonna pull my right scapula down. Relax and pull down, okay? That is scapular depression, the ability to pull those shoulders straight down. If you do it correctly, you're not gonna have a big bend in your elbow. You will probably feel a stretch up through that neck. That is great. We want that, right? Because if we're used to being up here and all of a sudden our scapula are pulling down, you're gonna feel a stretch. That is great. Scapular depression, the ability to pull those shoulders, placing them down into your back pockets, and keeping them there. 24/7, guys. Check in periodically. Scapular retraction. Now here's where we get to have fun. This is where your power lies. Once you're able to get those shoulders in their proper place by keeping them down, now that retraction is your power. This is where we get to have fun. Scapular retraction is the ability for your scapula or shoulder blades to squeeze together without elevating the shoulders or using your arms to do the movement. And unfortunately, guys, that's what often happens, right? We go to squeeze our shoulder blades together and this happens, or we're moving our arms back to do the work. But our scapula, they don't need our arms to do the work. They can do this on their own. And what I like to throw out there to people is imagine you're opening a door, right? I'm gonna reach out, and normally we just yank that door open. But what if I use my big old muscles in my back to help? So I reach and extend, okay, my shoulders down. I'm gonna check in just to make sure. And then I'm gonna pull that scapula in. And notice my arm shortened, right? I'm gonna pull that scapula in. Now I'm gonna bend that elbow. I just use my back to do the big time work. And why not, guys? Your back is a huge muscle. Let it do some of the work. Scapular retraction, the ability for your shoulder blades to squeeze together without using the arms or elevating the shoulders. For this one, I like to do what I call a wall scapular push-up. Yes, there's that wall again. But it makes it easy. And don't let the word push-up scare you, because we're not going anywhere on the floor and we're not having any resistance. Again, you're gonna stand arms distance away from a wall, squared facing hips to the wall, core engaged, no pressure, right? I'm not at an angle, guys. I am just arms length away, light, light, light pressure. I'm gonna drop those shoulders down and I'm gonna squeeze my scapula together. And notice that my arms kind of bowed a little bit. There's a slight bend. And then I'll release and they straighten back out. And I'll squeeze again and release. Notice I'm not here. My arms are not doing anything. It is that scapula. I'll show you from the back. Okay? Arms distance away, hips are square, core is engaged, and I'm gonna squeeze together. And my elbows will slightly bend. With that exercise and movement, you're making sure that those shoulders don't rise, okay? And that those elbows and arms aren't doing the work. And I'm telling you, brutally honest, you might get a little frustrated because it's really common to retract and it goes up and you're pulling them down and you're squeezing and you're like, what is going on? Completely normal. It's really, really normal to feel a little just jointed in your body as we're trying to fit these pieces together. Laugh, have fun, be patient. I promise your body will put things in order. It just takes time. Remember, in both scapular retraction and depression, the movements are small, right? Stabilizing muscle, small movement, big mind-body connection. It's not a brute force movement, right? So we get that scapular depression, we're pulling them down, scapular retraction, we're squeezing them together. I like to tell my patients and clients, imagine that I have a $100,000 check between your shoulder blades and don't drop it. Sometimes a little motivation helps, okay? So those are those two, scapular depression, 24/7, scapular retraction, where we get that power, okay? We use that retraction in bent over rows, okay? In deadlifts as a support, okay? In bicep curls, guys. If we don't, we're here. If you lift like this, you build muscle like this. We lift here. here. Your scapula support and stabilize the shoulder so your bicep can do the work. Crazy, right? Awesome. So much power in those muscles. So once you played around with those two movements and you're kind of feeling like, hey, I'm noticing my scapula in all sorts of different ways and days and positions and what I'm doing through life, there are 3 exercises that I absolutely love. The first one is called the hitchhiker, and I use this all throughout the day. If I've been working at my computer for a while and I need a break, if I just feel some tension going on and I'm like, all right, I've misused something somewhere, I'll throw this in. The way you're gonna do all 3 of these exercises, guys, is in front of a mirror. Believe it or not, whether you like it or not, your mirror is your best friend, just like a wall. Because we need accountability, guys. Our bodies are smart and they will cheat in every single way, and if you're not on it to spot it, they're gonna keep doing it, and they're really subtle. So you're gonna use the mirror to check yourself to make sure nothing else in your body is trying to do the movement, just the scapula. Okay, so the hitchhiker, you're gonna get yourself in front of a mirror, evenly planted, core engaged, and you're going to bend those arms to 90 degrees and pin your elbows to your side. Okay, these elbows are not going to flail, they're not going to shift or move. They're glued, duct taped, gorilla glued, hot glued, I don't care, but put them on your side. Core is engaged, I'm gonna drop my shoulder blades down. From here, I'm gonna retract those scapula, right? And I'm gonna do it until I feel that my elbows, or my arms moreover, moved. Not because I moved my arms, but because I squeezed my shoulder blades. At that point, I'm going to rotate my palms up, squeeze my scapula even more to open my arms to the side. You're gonna feel a huge contraction in your back, huge stretch in your chest. I'll then bring them back, rotate the thumbs back up, okay? Shoulders down, squeeze, rotate out, rotate back in, okay? Those are your hitchhikers. They're slow, they're not fast. It's not the new dance, okay? While this may feel good, it's not doing anything. We're glued in, depressing the shoulders, retracting them, and opening. Great all over chest opener and back strengthener. Okay? The second and third exercise, you're going to need a resistance band or tubing, okay? Make it light. This is not the time to heavy it up, okay? These are mobility exercises. And these next 2, I do every week before any upper body workout as my mobility drills, just to get everybody on the same page and working. The first one we're gonna do is called the band pull apart. And you're gonna grab your tubing or band close to the handles and just wrap it a little bit, okay? No special way, we just don't want these suckers flinging around because if they hit you in the face, it doesn't feel good, okay? Trust me. Been there, done that, not good. Once you've wrapped it and it's nice and light, you're gonna hold it at chest level. Core engaged, shoulders down. Big surprise, right? Starting to get a little mantra in your head, probably hearing it ad nauseum. It's good, you need that. Core engaged, shoulders down and back. From this position, okay, shoulders are down, you're watching yourself in a mirror, you're gonna squeeze those scapula, and you're gonna squeeze, 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 and that's what's pulling the band apart. And then you'll bring it back in, okay? Shoulders down, squeeze the scapula to pull the band. My arms and my hands aren't doing this. It's all coming from my back. Shoulders down, squeeze, and in. The cheats with this one, okay, are gonna be throwing the head and arching that back in an effort to force the movement. That's what you're looking for in the mirror, in addition to those shoulders elevating. We don't want those. Again, small movements, don't force it. I'll feel as if those scapula squeezing together are what's pulling that band apart. Our last exercise, again, using that tubing, holding it the same way, is called the band up and over. And this is teaching us the mobility to be able to raise our arm up without allowing that shoulder to come up, okay? And this is done super, super painfully slow, okay? We bust through this one and you're not gonna feel what I need you to feel. You're gonna set yourself up the same way, only this time you're gonna start with your arms by your side. Soft knees, core is engaged, pull those shoulders down. And you're gonna start to raise your arms really, really slowly. And what you're looking for is a wall, that place where you're like, ooh, I could go further, the shoulders down, and you'll lower. If you go fast, you're gonna bust through that wall and you're not gonna feel it. I need you to honor that wall. If you do, what you'll notice is the more you do it, that wall's gonna move. And watch yourself in the mirror. Watch yourself in that shoulder and go shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down, right? And you'll notice that mobility as you practice will get better. Again, here, what you're looking for is that either the back is gonna arch, your head will duck forward, or your elbows will bend to get your arms up higher. None of those guys are gonna help that scapular and shoulder mobility and stability. Don't cheat. Don't let your body cheat. Don't let it take the easy way out. Make it do it the right way. Your body will change. Your body is so adaptable and amazing, right? Just like I said, if you build like this, it'll build muscle like this if you lift like this. Your body is adaptable for better or for worse, okay? So don't cheat. Keep those arms straight, keep those shoulders down, and work with where your body is at the moment. So let's do a quick little wrap up and recap. Scapular depression and retraction are important because they help us keep our posture where we need it, and they provide that stabilizing support and strength for our shoulders. They house that power that's going to allow us to do all that upper body movement in and out of the gym that we want to. Combined with that strong engaged core and being able to use our glutes for that lower body power, we're in a good place to move on and learn other exercises and live our everyday life. Scapular depression, that ability to pull those shoulder blades down the back, keeping them in our back pocket. Scapular retraction, that ability to squeeze the shoulder blades together without elevating the shoulders and using our arms. And we went over 3 exercises for you guys to practice those movements, right? Our hitchhikers, our band pull-aparts, and our band up and overs. As always, guys, I hope this educational video was informative. I hope maybe you learned something. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, please feel free to leave me a comment on my Facebook page post or drop me an IM on Facebook. I am here to help however I can in whatever way I can. Until next time, my friends, blessings.